when it comes to love, making love stories, you and Sanjay Leela Bhansali, I feel are the last torchbearers, if I may use the word, of a certain. Of course, the scale is different, the aesthetic is different, but in terms of a love that is uh, very passionate, rooted, the junoon, it's timeless. There's a kind of timelessness about the love. I feel that you guys are the last to kind of tell stories about that kind of love. Would you agree with that, first of all?
I am feeling very happy that you compared me with a great filmmaker, and I just let it be left at that. I have watched Sanjay Leela Bansali's films, and I agree with you on his count. As far as I'm concerned, it's difficult for me to be objective. But if what you say be true, then it's good, and it's good fortune.
Right. No, but what I mean is, even though yours is in a modern setting as opposed to his films, your characters always behave like there's a timelessness about them. That they're not really. They may be wearing modern clothes. They may be wearing like having modern day issues, but the way they approach, or rather the way you approach love in your writing and how you construct your characters, I think there's always something very very pure and how do I put it? Very timeless. I keep going back to that word timeless. I think maybe it's also because you keep crossing timelines. I don't know. There's this feeling of timelessness.
It could be, while you were saying this, it could be because of what I'm talking about.
Right.
That particular moment in somebody's life, or that particular type of expression of feeling.
Right.
I'm reminded of this little nugget from Romeo and Juliet, where Juliet says to Romeo that just because I have given myself to you so quickly, don't think I don't have value. Now, this is a timeless emotion. Somebody who is unable to resist the charm of a man,
Right.
unable to make him do the fielding, as they say, before giving in, feels that, oh, I'm giving myself so easily, but I can't help it.
Yeah.
It's like when you come to that point, it becomes timeless.
Yeah, yeah. And speaking of Romeo and Juliet, there's that whole coda at the end of Love Ajkal 2, the balcony scene.
Yeah.
You have it there, which was like, I thought it was fantastic. I think I'm one of the 5 people on earth who like that film a lot.
Okay.
So, yeah. So now India has the largest youth population in the world today, and I hear that about 60% or 50% of Indians today are under the age of 20, 25 or under. Do you think they've become a little cynical about the way they look at love? And has that therefore changed the way you have learned to look at love over the course of your career?
Well, to begin with, I don't think they are cynical at all.
Okay.
I think that they are seeking, and they are seeking the same thing as anybody was at their age. But we tend to confuse the externalities, Again, the package is different, but what is inside is the same
Is the
thing.
same?
It is the same yearning, it is the same thing, which is, for instance, 50 years back, it would be a big deal to actually sleep with a woman. And then that could be considered the finale of a love relationship. But right now, that's not a big deal. There is something else. In a way, you can say that it is becoming purer.
Right.
Because you're not going for the externalities anymore. All of those are available to you. You can get married. Even after that, something can happen. Sometimes with the same woman that you're getting married to. But there is something else that you're seeking. What it is might be elusive forever. Therefore, love stories will keep getting made. We might not even comprehend it, but the seeking has continued.
Right.
If you see social media also, okay, there's so much about that. There's so much about seeking. I feel that it's much more than in my time.
Why do you say what it is might be elusive? Wouldn't a person know what they're looking for?
They do think that they do
Okay.
know what they are looking for. It's like when you start and on any journey, you feel that you know the destination.
Right.
But on the way, your mind can change, or you might make more revelations. You might have more understanding of the journey, and therefore your pedestal changes.
Yeah.
Your destination changes. You might reach the destination and realize, oh, I don't want to be here, or I have to go further.
Right.
I feel that the guy who climbed Mount Everest for the first time in history might have seen a small hill and thought this is the tallest mountain, but it's only after reaching that summit he would have thought, oh, there is another one bigger than this. Then he goes there. So I think it's like that. And this is the elusive quality
Right.
of so-called love.
Right. Is that also why in the West, the concept of people changing over time and therefore growing out of love with somebody is also a little more accepted than it is in India, where you tend to look at finding this one person to settle down with. And of course, that's also changing a little bit, but that has predominantly been like to find that one person there. Whereas there it's like, okay, for now, I'm happy with this person, but maybe 10 years later, you change as a person, the other person changes, and then you realize that maybe this is not working out. We don't see that reflected as much in our films.
Okay, but let me take you in history. Okay, let me take you thousands of years back,
Right.
let's say, in India. And read the legends, read the Mahabharata and Ramayana and the various love legends we have, the various histories we have. Actually, anywhere in the world, you will see that there's a pattern which does not belong to the prevalent conception about love and marriage.
Right.
For instance, it could be that a certain character in history or in popular mythology has had relationships, more than one,
Right.
but any of his relationships have not been looked down upon. In fact, examples have been given about them.
Right.
Right? And of course there is a Sri Ram, but there are also other characters. Similarly, in Homer,
Right.
it's not as though Helen of Troy had only one lover. The point is, what is the depth to which a certain relationship reached?
Right.
And what is it that love is? Like, is it particularly towards one person? And if so, then why is it that one person falls passionately in love with three people and somebody might have 7 relationships but all dispassionately?
Right.
Is it also some sort of a relationship with the self to fall in love, so to speak?
Yeah.
So what I feel is that these are thoughts that one might have. But at the end of it, if somebody says, oh, now I know what love is, he'll be enlightened.
Right.
He'll be Gautam Buddha.
Right.